If you're planning to buy a home in the next 3 months, I'm going to give you a step-by-step game plan to help you get ready. And here's the first thing I want you to understand. Don't start with the house. Start with the plan. It's easy to pull out your phone, start scrolling through homes, and suddenly fall in love with a house, but there's a problem. You don't know your budget. You haven't been pre-approved. You don't know exactly how much money you'll need, and while you're trying to figure all of that out, somebody else may already be making an offer. That's what we're going to avoid. I'm Lew Calhoun, the mortgage solver, and I've been helping people with mortgages since 1998. Here's your 90-day home buying game plan. Step 1. Know your budget. Before I tell you what a lender says you can afford, I want you to figure out what you believe you can comfortably afford. Those can be two very different numbers. Look at your monthly income and everything going out, car payments, credit cards, student loans, insurance, childcare, groceries, entertainment, savings, everything. Then ask yourself, what housing payment would allow me to own my home and still live comfortably? Because qualifying for a certain payment doesn't necessarily mean that's the payment you should choose. You, as the buyer, should establish a comfortable payment rather than relying solely on a generic percentage of gross income. Step 2. Get pre-approved. Now we're ready to talk financing, and I want you to do this before you seriously start looking at houses. During the pre-approval process, we're going to look at things like your income, assets, credit, monthly obligations, available funds, and your goals. Then we can start looking at which mortgage options may make sense. Conventional, FHA, VA if you're eligible, USDA depending on your eligibility in the property, maybe a down payment assistance program. And here's something that's especially important. Getting pre-approved early gives us time to solve problems. Maybe there's something on your credit that needs attention. Maybe your debt-to-income ratio is a little high. Maybe you're self-employed and we need additional documentation. Maybe you need more money for the transaction than you originally expected. Those aren't necessarily reasons you can't buy a house. They're reasons we want to find out now instead of after you've fallen in love with one. Step 3. Create your needs and wants list. Once we understand your financing, now we can start talking about what you're looking for. Take out a piece of paper and make 2 columns, needs and wants. Needs are your non-negotiables. Maybe you need 3 bedrooms. Maybe you need to stay within a certain commuting distance. Maybe you need a first floor bedroom. And here's one big one that people forget. Your maximum comfortable monthly payment can also be a need. Then list your wants. A finished basement, a 2-car garage, a huge backyard, a remodeled kitchen. There's nothing wrong with wanting those things, but ask yourself, would I walk away from an otherwise great house because it doesn't have this? If the answer is no, it's probably a want rather than a need. And don't fall into the trap of believing your first home has to be your dream home. Sometimes your first home is the home that helps you eventually get to the dream home. Step 4, plan your current housing exit. This one gets overlooked. If you're renting, when does your lease end? Do you need to give your landlord notice? Could there be a period when you're responsible for both rent and a mortgage payment? If you currently own a home, do you need to sell it before purchasing the next one? Will you be using proceeds from that sale toward your new purchase? Those details can affect your financing and your timeline. Figure them out before you're under pressure. Step 5, build your team. Now let's put the right people around you. You already have your mortgage professional. Next, you need a good real estate agent. Your real estate agent and loan officer should be communicating throughout the transaction. Tell your agent, here's my pre-approval, here's my comfortable price range, here's where I want to live, here are my needs, and here are my wants. Then ask, based on today's market, is this realistic? A knowledgeable local real estate professional can help you understand what your money is actually buying in the neighborhoods you're considering. I'd also start researching a home inspector now. You don't necessarily need to hire one today, but once you have an accepted offer, you don't want to start your search from scratch. Step 6. Now start shopping. Okay? Now you get to have some fun. Start looking at houses. Have your real estate agent set up listing alerts based on the criteria you've established. Go to open houses. Look at homes within your realistic price range. And don't just research the houses, research the neighborhoods, drive through them, walk around if you can, drive.